This is a Sandy Boy Productions podcast. Hey everybody, welcome to All Have Another podcast with Lindsay Hine. I'm your host, Lindsay. Thank you for being here today. We've got a great episode with Katie Izzo on the show. I first met Katie at the 2023 Monumental Marathon in Indianapolis. I got to do a little panel with her and some other pro athletes at the expo. And then I got to announce her winning the half marathon there, which was her debut half marathon. And that was 2023. And she actually just ran another half marathon PR in Orlando, a 16-second PR, 70 minutes, 27 seconds. And she is training for the Houston half marathon. And we all know that that is a super competitive race, and it's going to be a good one to go for another big PR. Katie has represented Team USA in cross country at the World Cross Country Championships. She also more recently placed third at the Sound Running Cross Country Championships in November. She competed in her second Olympic trials this past year, where she placed 13th in the 10,000 meters, which wasn't the place she was necessarily going for, but she will share about her journey to get to that start line and what that looked like afterwards. She also competed in the 2021 Olympic trials on the track as well. That was when she was still representing Arkansas, which was the university she ran for, and placed third at the cross country NCAA championships, leading her team to winning the NCAA championship title in cross country. She also attended Cal Poly, and currently she runs for Adidas and lives and trains in Flagstaff. If you are not following Katie's career, I highly recommend it. She is full of positive energy, and it's going to be fun to see her grow and thrive over these next few years on the roads, on the track, in cross country, all the things. She's Katie Izzo on Instagram if you want to check her out. All right, friends, I hope you enjoy my conversation with Katie. All right, friends, Katie Izzo on the podcast. Welcome to the show, Katie.
Hi, Lindsay. Thank you for having me. I love your podcast, so it's an honor to
Oh,
be here.
thank you. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Yes. Yeah, I have a crazy birthday 3 days before Christmas. So it's exciting though. Everything's so festive, and yeah, I had a good birthday.
Yeah, I just randomly saw from the internets that it was your birthday. So what did you do?
So I'm in Portland or Beaverton area. My brother lives out here, and so I actually had a little long run workout on my birthday, but met up with a friend for that, and then we went to a wine bar. Before that, had some brunch, and then met up with my parents and went to this Italian restaurant. So it was great.
Mm. Are you spending
Yeah.
Christmas there then?
Yes. Yep. We'll be
Okay.
here for Christmas.
And your parents too?
Parents are here. Yep, they drove from Southern California. I flew, which was a lot quicker.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
So you live and train in Flagstaff.
I do. Yep, just moved to Flagstaff in October.
Okay, and how are you liking it?
Love it. It's amazing. I mean, there's a reason why all the pro runners are there. And I love San Diego. I was there for 3 years, but just the community of Flagstaff, the dirt trails, the altitude, it's everything I need and want, and it's been amazing.
So what was like, how did you decide Flagstaff over, say, Boulder?
Yeah, we have been going to Flagstaff for altitude camps. So my team and I, that was the go-to spot because Emily Durgan, my teammate, lives and trains there. So I went to Mammoth Lakes once for altitude, which was beautiful. That's kind of over by Yosemite, and that used to be my team's go-to training spot. But with Durgan being out in Flagstaff, we would come up at least 2 or 3 times a year. But I was spending so much time in Flagstaff, just all those camps, and made so many friends there and everything. So it just made sense that Flagstaff would be the spot, especially since, like I said, Emily was there, and we already that kind of felt like a second home for our whole team. So that made sense over Boulder.
Yeah, and you run for Adidas. So tell us a little bit about that and the team that you run with.
Yeah, so I signed with Adidas in the summer of 2021 after I graduated from Arkansas. And so my team, we are called Golden Coast Track Club, although I think we should probably rebrand because we all are not living on the coast anymore. I think we should be called Golden Peaks Track Club. But
Oh, nice.
so my coach is Terrence Mahan and his wife Jen Rhines, who's a three-time Olympian. They are awesome coaches. So they have my main training partners again is Emily Durgan and then Taryn Rawlings, and we are all Adidas athletes. Terrence is an Adidas coach, so he works with Adidas athletes. So we all have individual contracts with Adidas, and the group, is with any group, there's been a lot of turnover just because people, you know, switch teams, switch coaches, move on with different things in their life. So I was teammates with Sarah Pagano, Emily
Mhm.
Lapari, Alina Tab, and yeah, so we had a bigger group, but now it's mainly just us. And Taryn also just moved to Flagstaff from San Diego. So
Oh,
yeah,
really?
so yeah. So we're kind of all in Flag now. So we've migrated.
Yeah, you really do. I mean, you can't change the name, but you really kind of have to, right?
I
Like,
know, right. Because Golden Coast is such a cool name,
yeah.
but yeah, and like Nikki Hiltz used to be on the
Uh huh.
team and everything, so I think Nikki was a part of the rebrand, and yeah, so it's exciting though. I think change is good.
So you did you originally like go with that track club or the Golden Coast because like it's close to home?
That was part of it. That was part of it. So I grew up in Southern California in Orange County, and so that's always just been home. But I also moved to Tucson, Arizona in middle school,
Okay.
and so I was there through high school, and then I actually moved back to Southern California, and then went to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo for undergrad. So I've always been California girl. My family's in San Diego actually. So that was definitely part of the reason why because it's like I was gosh, an hour and a half from my parents and I'm really close with my family. So it just kind of felt natural to go back to Southern California, and I did know I wanted to train at altitude, and I loved that Terrence really thinks altitude is beneficial. So that was another draw, that we would always be going up to the mountains and everything.
Your undergrad was Cal Poly, but then you were at Arkansas.
Yes, correct.
Okay, so then
Oh, so I did 4 years at Cal Poly. So I graduated, got my undergrad degree, but I was hurt for 2 years.
okay.
And so I had 2 years of eligibility to use somewhere, or I could have stayed at Cal Poly, but I had, yeah, 2 full years to compete. So I figured, why not continue running? I knew I still had a lot more in me, and then I thought might as well get my master's. So looked at a bunch of different schools, but yeah, Arkansas was just I couldn't say no to Arkansas, and I actually had a seventh year with COVID, but I decided just to be
Wow.
6 years. Yeah,
Like how long
yeah,
can I string this out?
I know, I know. I thought 7 years was a bit too long, but six is good.
Yeah, because you ran in the Olympic trials in college. But so what was this your sixth year though? So you were like an older college student then.
Exactly. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was yep. I mean, obviously COVID messed everything up too, but yes, that was my 6th year, and I think I graduated as a 24-year-old maybe.
Okay. Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah. What was that like then going to Arkansas, being like upperclassmen and joining that team and then leading them to third and what was it? Was it in cross country?
Yeah, we won nationals, and then I placed third.
You
That was
placed
in
third.
2019. Yep.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Oh, yeah. That was, gosh, I think
Wild.
back, insane. It was kind of like a whole movie, it felt like, just because so at Cal Poly. I was good, but nothing crazy. I only made one national meet in cross country as an individual back in 2018 and placed 82nd. And but just being hurt, I never got to show my full potential. And so that when I transferred, and especially being older, I think that really helped because it's a lot moving across the country, and I didn't know anyone in Arkansas, and I think having those 4 years of experience and growing that helped me to know my body, and also, yeah, just that maturity helped with the transition a lot. And then my teammates, we had just the best team as athletes, but we were all best friends. Had
Mm,
Lauren Gregory, Taylor Werner,
mm.
Logan. I mean, just all these Chrissy Gear. So many people are pros now on that team. So yeah, we just had such a good squad, and yeah, it was one of my favorite years of my life was when I
Aw.
transferred. Yeah.
Aw. Did you know anybody on that team when you transferred?
So I had met all of them on the official visit, and I had heard of, people like Taylor Werner and Lauren Gregory, and I knew they were incredible runners, but I didn't like personally know anyone
Mm.
until I went on the visit and transferred eventually.
What do you think makes like a winning team? Like, what do you think? How did you all mesh so well to rise up together?
Oh, that's a good question. I think especially for cross country, I guess any championship winning team, I think you just really have to be friends.
Mm.
Which it's kind of corny, but I feel like the having that friendship, like we just all cared about each other as people, and there just wasn't any drama, and it's because we all just lifted each other up and we were happy for each other's success. And there was really good leadership on the team. I think there's just really good people at Arkansas that created a good culture. And so the upperclassmen especially, they had learned from the older girls who had left Arkansas. There was just some really good team camaraderie and leadership. And yeah, we just all wanted the best for each other. And I think that's why we won cross
Oh,
that year. Yeah,
I
it was
love
so
that.
special. Yeah.
Yeah. That's an interesting answer and like cuz I whenever I've interviewed Lori Hennes in the past, that's what she always says. She's always like they like being together. The kids like each
Yes.
other. And if you
A hundred
have
percent.
that, yeah. So that's cool to hear it from the athlete's perspective.
Yes, yes. And yeah, we enjoyed just hanging out. We all lived in the same neighborhood, like 2 miles from campus. After every long run, we'd have brunch. For birthdays, Taylor Werner and Devin Clark would make these extravagant cakes. We would, go over to each other's houses on the Bachelor night and all watch The Bachelor together.
Oh.
We were all friends, and we would just all hang out all the time.
Okay,
So I
pause.
think
What's your
that,
favorite?
yeah. Oh,
What
sorry,
was
go ahead.
your no, we're not actually pausing, but when you brought up The Bachelor, I was like, what seasons were that? Like what do you remember who was The Bachelor during that time?
Yes. Pilot Pete.
Oh, Pilot
Do you remember
Pete.
him?
No. Yes. Why did she pick him?
I know.
That was such
I
a bad
know.
choice.
It was
Oh,
so
because she
bad.
had Tyler on her season. Super
Oh
hot
gosh, it's coming
Tyler.
back to me. Yes. Yeah. Where was
Yes.
Tyler from? Yeah, I forget where Tyler
Florida.
was
He
from.
was from
Florida. From
like
Neptune
yes. No, not Neptune.
or
It's like a golfing. It starts with a J. It's like a golfing town.
Jupiter. Jupiter?
Yes. Why did she
Yeah.
pick Pilot Pete over Tyler? Because I
I
always
hate to
thought
see it.
Tyler didn't have like a personality on the show, but then afterwards you're like, I don't know, man. I feel like you made the wrong
Yeah.
choice, Hannah. But it's fine now. She's married to someone else, and she's got a rom com
Thriving.
novel out, and
Yeah. She's
I
doing
keep
great.
seeing her
She's doing
book.
great.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
and I'm like, is this worth picking up? Like, would this be good? And it's not like a memoir, like some of those people from The Bachelor have put out like memoirs and stuff. It's like, no, she's just like writing nonfiction.
For sure. I'd be curious. I want a review of that. See if
Maybe
I
we'll
should get
check it
it.
out.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's fun. Do you have a favorite season
Uh-huh.
of The Bachelor?
I do. So A fun fact is I am friends with one of the bachelors, Zach Shallcross. Do you remember him?
Well, I know
He
the
went to
Zach that's
Cal
like a
Poly.
runner, but that's not him.
I know that one too. Yeah, so this was maybe 2 years ago, and
Okay.
I had classes with him in college, and such a nice guy, such a great guy,
Was
and
he the
he
Bachelor or was he a contestant on The Bachelorette?
he was the Bachelor. He was the Bachelor,
Oh.
yes. And then there it was crazy because one of the contestants, her name was Catherine Izzo, which is my name. Like, what are the odds of this?
That is weird.
I know, but that was a good season. I feel like there's been so many good ones, and there's been also bad ones, but
Oh, yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
great show, great show.
Hey, friends, big news from longtime sponsor Previnex. They've got a new gut and greens superfood product, which is packed with organic greens, clinically studied gut health ingredients, and a clinically studied anti-aging ingredient that supports digestion, immunity, longevity, natural energy, and overall health. You take 1 scoop with 8 fluid ounces of cold water once a day. And when I tell you this is the best tasting superfood green product I've ever had, I'm not kidding. They have an apple flavor to it that makes it so much more delicious than the typical gut green products you've maybe had in the past. Not only is it great tasting, it's made without any junk. No gums, no sugar alcohols, or artificial anything. The thing about Previnex is they care so much about the quality of their ingredients, and more than anything at all, they care about bringing health to your life. So if you want to check out their gut green product, I highly recommend it. I take it every morning now before my coffee. So I know you've heard me talk about Previnex for years. They've got the creatine, the muscle health, the multivitamin, the joint health, all kinds of good products. So if you want to try this product and you've already used my other codes, as long as you have the gut and green superfood in your cart, you can use the code Lindsay Superfoods. That's LINDSEY Superfoods for 15% off your order. You can add whatever else you want in the cart, but as long as the gut and green superfoods is in there, use the code Lindsay Superfoods, and that will get you 15% off. All right, I'm super excited to hear what you think. I am fully on board with this, and I look forward to growing in health with you and with Previnex as the years go on. Okay, back to running them. So do you think, like, I always think about this with cross country because, you know, I think if anybody listening has run cross country, they know that, like, it's just such a special team experience, like, unlike any other sport. Maybe we're biased, whatever. But as one of the, like, top runners, and I ask this with coaches too, like, how do you make it so that, like, everybody on the team feels important, even though we know that only 5 are scoring, only 7 are in that, like, varsity or whatever you call it position? As one of the top runners, like, how did you manage that?
Mm, you know, I think it just goes back to what we were saying, how we more valued everyone as people and over like how fast they were. And I think it also really comes from the coach. I think
Mm.
Coach Harder, in my opinion, did a great job really caring about all of us also just as people. And he obviously there was the different workout groups. So
Mm-hmm.
when I was at Arkansas, I had a group of it was really the scoring squad, and we would always have our reps a bit faster, but everyone was cheering each other on. So even the group that was running 5 seconds slower, it didn't matter. We all like had the same goal. We were all just stoked for each other. And but yeah, I think again, it just goes back to we just encouraged everyone. It didn't matter what pace group you're in. It's like we're all on the same team. And even what made Arkansas so special too is the slowest person on the team, if they weren't making nationals, they would drive out across the country
Mm.
to watch us. They would have watch parties. Everyone just supported each other, which is so cool and
Oh,
so unique. Yeah.
oh, it's so good.
Hmm.
So you said you had been injured and you weren't running like quite up to your potential at Cal Poly, and then you obviously have these like breakthrough years at Arkansas. When did you realize like, oh, maybe professional running is in my cards?
I think it was after the 2019 cross country nationals. I never dreamed of going professional. I never really watched the Olympics. I didn't even really know pro running at all
Huh.
until I transferred to Arkansas, because then I had all these teammates and stuff who were going pro or had already gone pro, like Dom Scott and everything.
Mm-hmm.
At Cal Poly, my idol was Jordan Hussey because she was
Oh.
from that area, and I would see her on the trails and freak out and everything. So my and yeah, I didn't really know what pro running was, but then after getting third at cross, I realized that I was looking at years back at all the results, and I realized that, oh, people who get third go on to become a professional runner. So then I thought, okay, well, maybe I can do that. And then I think that race opened my eyes to what could be. And then after the BU 5K, I think it was a week or two later, when I ran 15:13 and qualified for the Olympic trials, I think that's when it set in that, okay, I'm making it to Olympic trials, so this can be a thing.
Totally.
Hmm.
Compare your two Olympic trials experiences to one another, like going into it mentally and how you handled it and whatnot. Because this first time, 2020, well, I guess it was 2021.
Hmm.
You're like just graduating college, and then
Yep.
the next one, you've done a lot more, and you're a lot more mature and whatnot.
Yeah, so that 2021 trials, it was more of I'm just happy to be here. I think the only, maybe there's one other collegiate runner in the 5K at the trials. But I was very burnt out at that point. I had
Uh,
counted how many races I had done in the year 2021, and I think the trials was my 25th race of the year. And
wow.
I was doing 3Ks, 5Ks, 10Ks, miles, just because we had a full indoor season and then we had a full outdoor season. And art, in college, you're just racing all the time. So by the time I got to the trials, I just felt like I had nothing left in me. And luckily, I had placed fourth in the 10K at NCAAs, so I had a good showing there.
Mm.
But yeah, I was kind of just happy to be there, and just wasn't doing the right workouts to really be ready for a 5K, so didn't even make it out of the prelims. But then fast forward to this year, and this year was also very interesting because I had the standard for the 10K with Wayne Kawadi, but I had gotten it through the cross country ranking. So it was the weirdest thing because we were the only two that had the standard, and I had also gotten hurt. We could talk about that later, but
Yeah.
I didn't even know if I was gonna make these Olympic trials, and I was one of the last people to even get in, and I had a shot of going to the Olympics just because of the standard. So yeah, I think I was more like poised this year, and really ran within myself. But yeah, two very different experiences, but I definitely felt more prepared mentally for this past trials.
Yeah, I like when I was like researching you a little bit before this, I saw, I think it was Steve Magnus or something had tweeted that like, oh, Katie Izzo, she might be the one to make the team because she qualified with this cross country ranking, and I'm like, what does that even mean? I didn't realize you could even qualify for the 10,000 on the track through a cross country ranking.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So it's a new rule. It started about 2 years ago, and I found out about it. So actually, a year ago, I was in Spain at this point racing those cross country races. So I read on World Athletics that so they had made an announcement about the cross country gold label races, the high level races, and there was a line at the very bottom of the schedule, and it said those who place in the top eight in world rankings. Top eight in the world for cross country will automatically be given what is equivalent to the 10K world standard, which was 30/40. So I realized, okay, I don't think I'm going to be running 30, 40 this year. So I thought, okay, I'm pretty good at cross country. I'm gonna try to get this top eight, which I knew would be really hard, but I just did my research and I found the races that had the highest labels, and you just needed three of them. So I did the sound running cross champs because that was a gold label, and I got second. So then I figured I would go to Spain because there's so many more cross country races over in Europe. And in December, I flew over by myself and stayed for about 10 days and raced these two cross country races and ended up getting third at a gold label one and then first at another high labeled one. And that got me in the top eight. So it's nice that it worked out. Obviously, in the end, it didn't get me to my goal of making the team, but it was very interesting that I was definitely in the conversation of making the team when,
Yeah.
it was a weird thing, but I had fun. It was fun going to Spain.
Yeah, who did that like recon with you? Like how did you make that decision to like try to get that standard by that method?
I just kind of made the decision, and it was nice that my coaches, they're super supportive. They were like, yeah, you should go over and go for it. And luckily, I had a contact in Spain. My agent Mark Wetmore, one of his guys, Matt, lives in Spain, so he knew a lot of the Spanish teams and race directors. And gosh, they were so kind. The coaches over there and athletes, they welcomed me into their group, and they let me train with them for a week in Madrid. So that was a cool connection to Spain. So yeah, I just kind of decided on my own though that I would try.
I love that. Are you like naturally an independent person? Like I'm just going to go fly over here by myself for 10 days.
Yeah, I do enjoy being independent and doing things on my own. And I think I just always love new adventures. And I've moved a lot around in my life, and with transferring to Arkansas, I've always had so much fun and found a lot of success when I put myself into kind of like situations out of my comfort zone, and
Mm.
I love to travel, so it just meshes well that I enjoy all of that. And because I know a lot of people would want, someone else to be with them, but I think it's fun just kind of getting to
Yeah.
explore on your own and meet so many new people. So yeah, I'm really glad I did that.
What are things that get you out of your comfort zone? Like outside of traveling by yourself? Like what makes you uncomfortable?
Oh, that's a good question. Things that get me out of my comfort zone. I do think putting myself in new situations where I'm meeting different people, and I mean I kind of enjoy that though. So I don't know if that's out of
But
my comfort zone.
I feel like it could be both. Like I can feel like things can make us uncomfortable and also be like something we enjoy. You just got to like break the ice a little bit.
That's true. That's true.
What about like physical things? Like are you like a daredevil, like is skydiving, things like that? Like does that stuff scare you?
Oh, that stuff scares me. That stuff scares me. So I guess that would be out of my comfort zone.
Okay, okay.
Also my mother would kill me if I
Oh,
ever
really?
Oh yeah. If I did anything crazy. Oh
Like that.
yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I am terrified of that. But, you know, one of my best friends, her son on his 18th birthday asked her to do that with him. And she was like,
Wow.
I'm terrified, but like, I can't say no. Like, I got to do this with him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I think I would do it too if like one of my kids on their 18th birthday really wanted me to. Cause I'm like, that's like, something you'll never forget. Like, remember when mom
Oh
went
yeah.
skydiving with me?
Oh yeah. You'd win the coolest mom award too.
Yeah. I
That
think that my
wow.
third is my one that would be most likely to want to do that. So I'm like, okay, I have a good 10 years. I have a good 10 years
Yeah,
before I
you have
might be
time to
asked.
prepare.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be
um,
crazy.
okay, that's interesting. Yeah. I don't know what my answer to that question is, though. After I asked you that, I was like, that is a hard question for her to have to answer.
That's a good question. I think what I really don't like, which is probably good for me to do more of, would be probably public speaking. That,
Mm-hmm.
oh gosh, I get more nervous to public speak than any race. I
Yeah.
remember in class, when you had to get up there and give a speech. Oh my gosh. Especially when you're graded.
Yeah.
So that stuff, oh, that gets me.
Hey, friends, are you looking for a great THC or CBD gummy? I have the perfect offer for you. Cornbread gummies. I love them so much. I usually take one in the evening around like 6 p.m. and it is such a relaxing routine with no weird side effects. The only effect I have is that I feel calm and a little zen. And what I love about Cornbread's products is they are USDA organic, proudly grown in Kentucky, so right here in the United States, and they have no harsh solvents like petrochemicals or industrial acids in them. Most hemp THC products you find will have those, and Cornbread does not. They're Farm Bill compliant and legal for adults over the age of 21. If you're looking for a healthier happy hour, if you're doing dry January or just trying to kick off the year in a healthier way, look no further than these CBD and or THC gummies. I do the combo, but if THC is not your thing, you can just do the CBD. And friends of All Have Another podcast have a special offer. You can get 30% off your first order. Just visit cornbreadhemp.com/another and use the promo code another at checkout. Again, that's cornbreadhemp.com/another and use the code another for 30% off your first order. Cheers to a healthier happy hour. So I got to see you win your first half marathon.
You did. That was so great. I loved meeting you. That was such a great race. That
So
was
fun.
fun.
Yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
we did Katie ran Indy Monumental half in I guess it was 2023.
Mm-hmm.
Won the race and we got to do like a little panel the day before. But yeah, so that was your debut marathon. And I saw that you recently PR'd again in Orlando.
Yeah, yeah. So gosh, I after that half I realized that that's a good distance for me and yeah, and so I wasn't quite planning on doing another half this year. I was thinking maybe doing the San Diego holiday half just for fun since I was going to be home in San Diego, but
Be the
I
pro on the start line.
Yes, yeah, just get that prize money. But I found out about the OUC Orlando half marathon, and I had never heard of it. But Jacob Thompson told me about it on a run, and he said there's no pros signed up, and the prize money was very good.
Nice.
And that never hurts. So yeah, and Track Shack put it on, so the same people that I guess did the marathon trials
Uh-huh.
and gosh, they treated us so well. It was such a
Oh.
great race. Amanda Vestry obviously did incredible in her debut. But yeah, it was unfortunate though. There weren't many people to run with. So other than running with Amanda for the first like 2 or 3 miles, we were both soloing the whole thing. It wasn't like Indy where there were so many people and
You had
guys to
like
run with, which
males.
the males and oh because they were so great that we had a little pack at Indy and
Oh.
the men they were asking us what pace we were running and they were tall too and they blocked our wind and they were encouraging us the whole way so I kind of thought Orlando might be like that but it was just more of a low key race and there weren't many other men or anything so yeah I kind of treated it was more it felt like a workout but I was still happy to PR and I'm excited to do some more halves in 2025.
Yeah, what is that going to look like for you? Because there's always that like time when you're like a track girl, cross country girl, and then like you're like, okay, I'm starting to do longer distance roads more. Like, what do you envision that trajectory to look like?
Right. So I definitely think, especially after now doing two halves, that I am more meant for longer distances. I mean, I still think and believe that I do want to PR in the 5K and 10K, and I still think I can be really competitive on the track, but I think the transition has slowly happened where I'm able to handle longer distances, run more miles, and just to have it, it feels so much more natural to me,
Mm.
just and kind of effortless compared to the 5K and 10K. And I know they are such different events, but yeah, it just feels more fitting to maybe my style of running or just what I'm kind of made for. And I think working out with Emily Durgan, and I've worked out again with when I was with Sarah Pagano or Sarah Buchanan, they were longer distance runners,
Mm-hmm.
and I kind of saw what that looks like, and I think that inspired me to eventually now I'm kind of getting to where they were with the longer stuff.
Okay, if I'm the outside looking in, I would be like, I bet cross country is her favorite of track, roads, cross. Tell me if I'm right.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I think
I mean, I'm not offended if I'm not, but I'm like, I
yeah,
feel like I always see these pictures of you like on a cross country course and living your best life.
totally. I think I've kind of yeah, I don't know what it is about cross country. Maybe it's just being kind of more in nature, and I have found the most success with it. And I think it's also because you're just racing, and sometimes I can get caught up in looking at my watch or the times or whatever, but I think cross country just forces me to just be in the moment, be on the course. I love when there's bad weather and
Mm.
crazy like mud. Like that's why Europe was fun. I love different elements because I think one of my strong suits is staying mentally strong. So cold, hot, I feel like I can do any of it. So I think that's why I like it so much as well. And then I think just having such a great experience with my Arkansas teammates, it's just such a pure version of the sport, and the team part. It's just so special. So, and I think that just carries on, even though when I'm racing not with a team at these cross country meets, but I think just my amazing memories that I've had with cross, it just carries into the actual race.
Yeah, and you've been able to represent Team USA in cross country, which is super cool.
Yes.
What did that feel like to wear the Team USA jersey, sports bra, whatever?
Yep. Yeah.
Hmm.
No, that was super special. And again, I actually made that team with two of my other teammates, both Emily's. And so that was cool. But gosh, I mean, that's always was my goal is make a team, make as many teams as I can. So, and I had a hard, as we all do, professionals, you have ups and downs in your career, but I think making that team reinforce that, okay, I'm being successful, or I am successful in this pursuit. And it was just special. I love our country, and getting to go to
Mm-hmm.
Australia was a dream. That's probably one of the coolest places you can go for a world team, and it was beautiful. It was in Bathurst, which is kind of like out in the middle of nowhere, but flew into Sydney, and yeah, the whole thing was just super special.
This is kind of a boring question, but I'm always just like, how do you handle those flights? Because I just cannot imagine being on a flight that long. And I know that like a lot of people do it, but like, how do you do it?
Yeah, well, that was really my first international flight. So that was
Well, that's a big
a
one
big
for your
that's a big one
first.
to start off. Yeah, yeah, I'd
Yeah.
only been in Canada before that. So
Okay.
Reed Buchanan was on my flight because we were both coming from San Diego. I think he was a little bit more upgraded than me. So you should ask him that question because he had an app that told you when to caffeinate, when to nap, like to adjust to the time. So
Oh.
I think he started that on the flight. So he probably was sleeping when he was supposed to be sleeping to adjust, but I wanted the meals. Like I don't want to miss out on all of that. So I think just I mean, you watch a lot of movies, and it kind of goes by. I think it went by a little bit faster than I thought it would.
Really?
Surprisingly, yeah. I think just the movies, shows,
Uh-huh.
music, and then the meals, that gives you something to look forward to. You smell it
Yes.
before, it
Yes.
gets to you. So I guess
It's
that's
like
what I did
okay. It's like anticipating your gel on the marathon course. Like, okay, I have something to look forward to here.
for sure.
Then I guess the question trajectory wise was like, do you want to do the marathon?
Yeah. I do. But it's taken me, I think, till just recently to realize that it might be coming sooner than I thought. I
Oh,
thought I wouldn't do it until like 2028 or something, but I don't plan on doing it in 2025, but maybe 26. I
okay.
definitely need to build my mileage up. I've usually been a lower mileage girl, so I'm doing that now and just got to make sure I stay healthy. But yeah, marathon is definitely, I think, in my future.
What was this injury that you were overcoming that you didn't know if you'd be able to do the trials? You had surgery, didn't you?
I had surgery actually back in 2016 when I broke my legs. So
Okay.
that was in college. But
Okay.
this most recent one was in January. Actually, it was at US Cross Championships in Virginia. My foot was hurting the day before the race, and then it was a fracture. I broke it, I think, in the race. It was
Oh.
second metatarsal fracture, and I've never had any foot issues. So that was gosh, it took a while to heal. It was just very painful. I didn't need surgery, which was good, but I ended up coming back a little bit too quick from that injury, which I've usually been good about giving it
Mm.
enough time, but I had made the World Cross Country Relay team. I was selected for that, and so I was getting on the Alter G, did ground workouts and stuff, and I thought it would be okay. But I think that course specifically, I put my spikes back on. That did not help. So I actually had to take another month off. So I took all of April off after that race. So I didn't have much time to get ready for trials, but I did the best that I could with the time that I did have.
How do you handle all of that mentally when you're like, "Ah, I just want to like do what I want to do so that I can, reach these goals." How do you handle that?
Right. As you know, we all go through it, but that injuries, no matter what, it doesn't matter what level you're at, they just suck.
Yeah.
It's so hard. And I think it was again a very interesting time because I had found out I did get the world qualifying time with the cross country points, but then realizing, oh, I might not even make it to trials. I did really go through a dark time where, especially re-injuring myself, having a bad race at that world relay, I felt like I let the team down. Um, I go on the internet and I see some mean comments and I'm like, I want to quit this sport. I'm like, why am I doing this? Right. And I just thought I totally failed. Just now I'm, injured, let a team down and might not even make it to trials. But I think it's really just surrounding yourself with good people, having just good family and friends and coaches that support you, and then just taking it day by day. And it's again kind of corny, but it's you really that was my motto, just one day at a time. So
Mm-hmm.
I would get my cross training in and try to, be out in the sunshine and try to do things that filled my cup outside of running. And eventually, it gets better and then you can start running again. And I feel like once you're able to start running,
Mm-hmm.
then your body just is like, okay, we're back to doing what we love to do, and then it just progresses from there.
Yeah, you can envision the progress a little bit more once you're actually doing the thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, gosh, that's so tough. So healthy now.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I
Knock
feel
on
like
wood.
you're I know, I feel like you're a busy lady. Like lots of workouts. What's going on? What are you we had the half that you PR'd in, but like what are your close goals?
Yeah, so my next race, we're gonna do Houston half.
Yay!
Yeah, as I feel like everyone's doing it, but
Oh, it's
that's
gonna be
exciting.
awesome.
It's gonna be fun. I
You're
mean,
gonna get
half
a
of
good
Flagstaff's in
PR.
it.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. And I've heard it's so fat and flat. Have you done it? Have you done Houston?
No, I haven't done it, but I actually I just interviewed Des and Kara and they're doing like a big live show that weekend. So I
Fun.
feel like Houston in general is just gonna be like popping with activity and excitement.
Yes, I'm sure probably another record's going to go down,
Oh yeah.
and so that's my next big race. It's coming up quick. I think it's less than 4 weeks now.
Yes,
So
and like I feel like you just running Orlando with the environment that you said that was in and how you kind of felt like it felt like more of a workout because I didn't have anybody. Like, what a great prep to then be thrown in with all
yes.
the dogs and
I
like go.
know. Exactly. I think that Orlando is going to definitely make me appreciate how many people are going to be in Houston. So yeah, I won't have that problem in Houston. I will not be running by myself. Hopefully, I mean, there's going to be so many good
Oh yeah.
groups. So yeah, so I'm just going to turn the brain off and just go for it. And yeah, excited. Hopefully, get a good PR and yeah. So yeah, getting into the longer stuff, I think is going to be what's in store for 25 and maybe thinking about the half champs
Oh
in
yeah, in March.
March.
Okay.
Hmm.
I feel like a lot of people are going to do that this year too.
Yes, yes. It's going to be such a hard team. I feel like any team,
Yeah.
you have to be top of the game, but I'm excited to compete. I think that that is going to be a good distance for me.
Hey friends, I want to tell you about Barilla Protein Pasta and the Winter Energy Challenge with Strava 2.0. My family is a huge pasta family, and I was so excited about this partnership because we eat Barilla Protein Pasta all the time. I am always looking for ways to get more protein into our diets, especially some of my super picky eater kids. And you can easily increase your protein intake with 17 grams of protein per 3.5 ounce servings of Barilla protein pasta. Actually, my kids request the protein pasta. They think it tastes better. I think it tastes the same. They think it tastes better. This is the pasta taste you love with the energy you want, and it's made with 100% plant-based protein from lentil flour, pea protein, and chickpea flour, making it a good source of fiber as well. Put your energy to the test and take on Barilla's Protein Pasta's Winter Energy Challenge this February on the Strava Fitness app. It's free, and all you need to do is simply complete 10 days of movement for your Barilla Protein Pasta reward. Terms and conditions apply. Sign up at strava.com/Barilla. Back to the show. Yeah, who's to say you can't be on that team? You know, who's to say why not you? How do you keep confident even when you know like the competition is big?
I think you like what you said, it's like you got to believe in yourself and really anything's possible and what's nice is in my career I've seen myself make huge jumps and
Mm.
that's why it's like okay, you can never count yourself out. I mean, a lot of my career has been like steady improvements, but like when I transferred to Arkansas, I was 82nd the year before I was third.
Wow.
It's like you never know. And even in the 5K, my PR before I ran 15:13 was 16:08. So I think I've shown to myself, yeah, a lot of the times it is steady improvements, which is great. But if you're putting in the work and if you again just have that unwavering belief in yourself and if you've got that right mindset, anything can happen. So I think I need to remind myself of that more because um, I I've had success in college, but I feel like I haven't quite, gone through to the top of the pros yet. I think I'm there, but I need to take that next jump, which is why I moved to Flagstaff. Is
Mm-hmm.
that felt like training with the best of the best. That is what's gonna take my career to the next level. So I think just believing in myself and keep putting in the work and you never know what day is your day.
Yeah, like when a big breakthrough is going to happen. Gosh, those jumps you mentioned are crazy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then in practice, I was getting PRs in practice compared to my track
Yeah.
times. It was, yeah, but that's what happens, when you surround yourself with people who lift you up. And I was just hanging on to those to my teammates, and it got me pretty far, just latching on and saw some really big jumps.
Do you feel like there was like mental changes too? Like you physically obviously got much stronger, but like was there anything you did to become mentally more strong?
Yes, I think mentally just in practice when of course at first I couldn't stick with Taylor Warner and the top girls, but every practice I felt myself hanging on a little bit longer or staying with them, for one more rep and making that connection that okay, if they're the best in the nation and I'm not, I'm right there or a little bit behind or even with them, that connection was huge for me. And then I realized, oh, I just need to do that in races, just do what I've been doing in practice. And another big thing that I started to utilize when I transferred was it was all the law of attraction stuff, and the manifesting and all that. And I've gotten really more deep into that stuff as I've gotten older. But one of my key themes for that year that I transferred to Arkansas was the word believe. So
Mm.
again, it just kind of all goes back to that beliefs and having, yeah, just realizing that how powerful your mind is. And I utilized that a lot that year that I transferred, and I still do.
Is that when Ted Lasso came out? Because when I think of Believe, I think of Ted Lasso.
Yes, I just watched Ted Lasso maybe like last year. So maybe it
Really?
did. Yeah,
For the
oh, it was
first
so good.
time?
Yes, I was way behind. It
Yeah,
was
you
such
gotta
a good
watch that.
show.
I remember, like, this is so funny, but like, I was like, I think I cried when it was over because
I
it
think I
came,
did too.
well, like, it came out like during COVID, and like, I was just like, oh my gosh, this is one little slice of happy that we get every week,
Yes.
and I don't want it to be over.
It came at, I unfortunately, yeah, watched it so much later, but that came at a perfect time for most people during
Perfect
COVID.
time.
Ted, I mean, we all need a Ted in our
Okay,
lives.
listen, if you liked Ted Lasso, did you have you watched Shrinking?
No.
Okay, it's Ted Lasso ish esque, whatever that is. So good. It's like same feel good show. So
Adding it to the list.
get
Shrinking.
it.
Is it on Netflix or
No, I think it's Apple TV,
Apple TV?
which was
Okay,
what
I
Ted
think I have
Lasso
that.
was on.
Yeah, yeah, it should be good.
Yeah,
Great.
you got to watch
Okay,
that. It's
I'm
just
definitely
like
gonna watch it.
it's heartwarming. It's really good. Okay, Believe. And so then you said you're into like manifesting and stuff now. What do you listen to or read, or who are your mentors in that?
So, podcast, I'm obsessed with this one called the Expanded Podcast.
Okay.
And I mean, I think it all started with most people get introduced to the law of attraction and manifesting through The Secret. Have you heard of that
Oh,
one?
yes, yes. I remember
Yeah,
when
but
like you probably weren't born yet, but I remember when like Oprah had it on her book club.
right, right. Yeah. So that is very surface level, but I mean, all those principles are very true. So, I mean, right now I'm reading it's called The Seven Spiritual Laws of Success. I
Oh,
think
is
that's
that
by
Deepak
Deepak.
Chopra?
It is, yes. Um, Gosh, and at lending libraries, especially in San Diego, my neighborhood, I think everyone else was really into manifesting and stuff because I
I
feel
mean,
like
not surprising, not surprising.
I mean, they're all doing pretty well. I mean, it
Yeah.
was a very nice neighborhood. So,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
picked up so many like spiritual books. Gosh, I don't even really remember all the names, but it's all about like spiritual growth and I've read The Power of Now,
Mhm.
um, Becoming Supernatural. That's a really good book by Joe Dispenza.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, I what I like is the spirituality and scientific combination. I think
Mhm.
that really resonates with me because I like the science of how it actually is real, but then it has a lot of the spiritual aspect to that as well.
I have not read the seven, what is it? Seven spiritual what is it called?
Yeah, seven laws. Sorry, seven. I have it right here. The seven spiritual laws of success.
So I've read the parenting version of that. It's like
Oh,
seven
okay.
spiritual laws of like raising kids.
Oh, that's cool. Did you like that?
Yeah, I did. It was like one of my favorite parenting books I've ever read. So
Cool.
I do want to read that one as well. So did you like? Do you have a faith? Like, do you practice a religion?
Yeah, yeah, I grew up Christian and Catholic, but I think I identify more as spiritual.
Yeah.
over super religious, but yeah, definitely have a Christian faith, but I really like different principles from like
Same. Yeah.
Buddhist. I think it's all very interesting and but I think my faith has really grounded me and I definitely would not have gotten through those injuries or just life without having something to center me and ground me. So I'm really really glad that I have a good faith.
Yeah, and I think that like Deepak Chopra, I don't know, is he Buddhist? I'm not actually sure, but like even
Yeah.
coming from like the Christian lens, like that book has been more like powerful for me in my parenting than any other book I've ever read. So it's like
Wow.
like you can use like books and texts from other religions or people from other faiths and like still grow so much in your own faith.
100%. I very much believe that. And I think we're all praying to the same God too.
Yeah.
All the different religions, I think, it's a universal thing. So yeah.
Yeah, and the power of the mind, it's like, gosh, you never know when like something really hard is going to happen in your life. And so if you're like in a regular practice now, then when those things do happen, it's like, okay, I have the tools. I'm not like trying to fight my way out when it gets really bad. Like I can like lean back on these things that I've already been working on.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And yeah, it definitely helps when you're going through those tough times, those injuries. And I think I need to do a better job when things are going well to
Yeah.
even because it's easy to kind of get off your practice. But I think gratitude is huge. I write 5 things I'm grateful for every morning and do little things like that that help center me and because I think the more that you're grateful for, the more blessings come into your life and the more good you attract.
Do you remember what your 5 things today were?
This is so bad. Today was the one day that I didn't do it in the morning.
Okay, let's do it
But I
right
have,
now. Let's
let's
do
do it
it.
right now. So I actually, this is what I've been using is my from Serbia from the World
Oh,
Championships.
cool. That's your little
But
like
yeah,
journal.
this is my little journal that I have. Yeah, and I have all my gratitude in here. So, well, yesterday it was my birthday and running errands, my brother's house, their sweet dogs, an
Mm.
amazing long run, and an amazing birthday. But yeah, today we could do today.
Okay, let's do today.
Um,
I'll go too. Um,
okay.
I'll start with I just got to run errands with my husband because my oldest is old enough that all my kids can be home together. So
Love that.
it was nice. We got to do grocery shopping, just the two of us.
Little things.
Little things. That's my number
Yes.
one. Okay, you go.
Okay, mine is getting to do this podcast with you.
Oh,
Like I said, I love podcasts, and yours is one of my go-to ones. I think you
you.
interview such amazing people, and you ask such good questions. So I'm grateful to be on.
Oh, well, I'm going to add that to my list too. So that's my number
Oh,
two, interviewing
um,
you.
I love that. My next one is my brother has an espresso machine and he has actually like 5 different ways to make coffee. So been loving that. This one's pumpkin spice cake
Mm.
and gingerbread creamer from Trader Joe's. I've been very grateful for
Okay,
that coffee.
that's so good. I finally bought myself an espresso machine and I'm just trying to perfect the latte because I'm like, I don't want that much
Oh,
milk. You know what I mean?
hmm
So I'm like,
right.
do you put more hot water in to like, because if I go to a Starbucks, I'll order like a flat white because I think
Uh-huh.
that has less milk. But
I
anyway,
should
I'm
know that.
I'm trying
Yeah,
to
it's tough.
perfect the latte situation.
Yes, a latte makes everyone's day better. Like
Yes.
it's automatically a better day when you have a good latte.
My next one is gonna be that I've already wrapped like 80% of my kids' Christmas presents, and I'm like, I feel really good about that. So I'm
Great.
like feeling grateful for that.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. I know. And you have what, 4 boys
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
so that's impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Got a lot
that's
done
on the
there.
list. Yeah. My next one would be getting to run in on the new trails that I've never been to in Portland. I have some friends here that I've met through races and different things, and they're going to show me the trails.
I'm going to say, I am finally back to running a little bit myself because I had been out with Achilles stuff. So I ran 3.5 miles on the treadmill before my strength class today. And so,
Good.
yeah, I'm happy.
Oh, that's
I think
great.
I've just like figured out it's really hilly here in Raleigh. And I'm going to have to do a good amount of treadmill running because my Achilles in these hills is just like it always acts up. So that's okay though. I don't mind the
Mm,
treadmill.
that's good. At least you kind of figured it out, and yeah, just incorporating
Like,
treadmill like twice
yeah.
a week or something.
Yeah.
Or
Mm-hmm.
okay, that's smart. At least yeah, I'll be sending good vibes that Achilles doesn't do any more
Thanks.
flare-ups.
Thanks.
Oh,
Okay, what do you have? Two more? Three more?
I think two more, maybe.
Okay. Yeah.
I would also say I'm grateful to be healthy and not just, I mean, body has been feeling great, but I had scheduled all my checkups for back home
Oh,
this
just like,
past week,
yeah.
dentist, skin, like all the things, and everything is good. So
Oh,
I'm very grateful to be healthy on all fronts.
that's always a big relief. Check those
I know,
boxes.
for sure.
I'm going to go with, I'm reading this book called Husbands and Lovers, and it's just fun and good. And so,
Oh,
yeah, my
love a
neighbor
good
passed it
book.
on to me. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. Um, is this my last one or one more?
I think you,
Two
I
more?
don't know. We can just do
Uh,
one more. It's fine.
yeah. Um, I would say I'm very grateful for my awesome family and friends.
Mm.
I have such loving parents and supportive parents and sibling and sister-in-law and extended family and great friends. And I think that's kind of what life's all about, just spending time with really good people.
Yeah, and you guys get to do that Christmas coming up.
Yes, yeah, we're all together. Full
Yeah, we're
house.
recording this 2 days before Christmas, everybody.
Yes.
Love it. Okay, well, we'll wrap up here with some into podcast questions, which you might know some of them because if you've heard the podcast.
Yeah.
What is something professionally or personally you would like to do that you haven't done yet?
Professionally, I think it would be very cool to make teams on all different terrains. So I've already made the world cross team, and I know this won't be easy, but I think it'd be really cool to make a world indoor team, make a world road team, and then a track team. Obviously, Olympics would be amazing, but world track, outdoor track team. That would be professionally. And then personally, I do want to get more into kind of like a side hobby, whether that's like a little more artsy, making jewelry, or I've always wanted to maybe make a training journal or do
Mm,
something to help younger athletes, something to give back to the running community. I haven't quite figured that out yet, but I do want to add that into my life. It's just outside of running.
love it. What's your message to like a younger runner who's trying to find their footing?
I'm very lucky. I found the sport later, and I actually started off as a sprinter. I was
Oh,
running I was running the 100-meter dash up until my sophomore year of high school. So
no.
yeah, I wasn't very good, but I was running my main event was the 400, and
Wow.
then eventually I found the 800, and then my senior year is when I started to get into I tried the mile and 2 mile, but I would say just have fun with it. I think I'm really happy that I just didn't run many miles and I enjoyed my time with my teammates and I kept it really fun and I didn't even have a watch in high school. So I would say just enjoy it and work hard obviously, but I think the biggest thing is just having fun when you're young.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What is the best, most recent book you've read? Do you have any like fun reads? I know we talked about all the spiritual reads. We're like redundant here.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I would say probably Becoming Supernatural was one of my top ones, but I recently read I loved Sally McRae's Choose Strong.
Oh, I
My
love
friend,
her.
I love her too. She's from Huntington Beach, which is where I'm from.
Yes.
And I've never met her, but I really want to
Oh,
meet her. I know her daughter goes to school in Flagstaff.
yeah.
Yeah, so I loved her little memoir. I really enjoyed that.
Sally's amazing. I listened to that on Audible. Um,
Cool.
yeah, she's just one of the most like genuine and authentic people I think I've ever known, really.
She seems like it. She seems like
Oh.
just an awesome human.
What kind of music do you like?
I love country.
You do?
Big country girl. Uh-huh. More country pop. And then I also like artists such as like the Lumineers or Vance
Yeah.
Joy, kind of more of that too. And then, pop, but I've gone to so many country concerts.
Really?
That's
What's your favorite?
yes. Oh,
Have you ever been to Eric Church?
no, I haven't been to Eric Church. Have you?
Okay. No, but I love him.
He's going. I loved Keith Urban. He
Mm.
was really good. I've seen Eli Young Band,
Mm-hmm.
Luke Bryan, the band Perry.
Oh.
Gosh, yeah, they came to Cal Poly one year to
So
perform.
like right before they got big, which I know they kind of got big and then they kind of like died down a little bit. I saw them on the free stage at the Indianapolis State Fair. Like
That's
nobody was
awesome.
there. Like nobody was there, and I was like, Glenn, that's my husband. I was like, these guys they're gonna be big because it was when that "If I Die Young" song had come out,
Uh-huh.
and I
Yep.
knew that song, and I was like, no, these guys are really good. Like they're gonna be something. And so I sat there at the free stage all by myself and watched it.
Wow,
So
you're an
good,
OG, an
and they're
OG fan.
siblings.
They are, yes. It's so
Are
sweet.
they still making music though? I feel like I haven't heard of them in a while.
I haven't heard of them in a while as well. They had so many good ones though.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Very, very amazing voices. Yes. Yeah, I don't think I could choose a favorite country concert though.
Okay.
They've all been
Okay.
really good. Yeah.
Do you like do you like Jelly Roll?
Oh, so what is he in? I know he's always featured, right?
I love Jelly Roll. Well, he is
What
kind
is
of
he?
country, but he does like some rapping a little bit too. But
That's
he's like,
fun.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's actually touring with Post Malone this summer, and I'm like,
Oh,
I gotta go.
Post Malone. He is I love his collab into
Yeah,
country.
yeah,
Wow, I'm impressed.
yeah.
He has
So,
some good songs.
mm-hmm. I'll send you some of my favorite Jelly Roll songs.
I would love that
My husband
for my
always
next
makes fun of
run.
me. I'm like such a Jelly Roll fan. Okay. If you could go to any concert tomorrow, who are you going to see? Dead or alive?
Dead or alive. Oh man. I've been dying to see Morgan Wallen.
Oh yeah,
I love his stuff, and I haven't seen him yet.
Cowgirls. I
So,
like that song.
yeah. Yeah. What about you? What would be
I
your
mean, I think it's that Jelly Roll concert.
jelly roll? I'll go with you.
Okay, please. Let's look at the tour dates. Maybe they'll be in Flagstaff.
Perfect. Maybe. Maybe
Yeah, I
Phoenix.
got an email though. They are going on tour this summer, so we'll have to see where they're
Okay.
where they'll be. But yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go Jelly Roll. I went to a Zach Bryan concert, which I love him, but also like some icky stuff has come out about him, so I'm kind of sad.
I know. It's such a bummer. His voice is
Yeah,
so good, but my teammates just told
I
me about the
know.
stuff on the run.
I
Such
know.
so disappointing.
And he's such a good songwriter. Like I was like looking up like does he write all of his music? And it looks like he mostly does. And I was like, dang it. Dang
So dang it.
it. Okay. Where are we at? What is your last message to leave with our audience today?
Last message to leave would be just enjoying the little things. I think life is so short and it goes by so fast. I can't believe I'm already 28. I don't know
Mm,
where all the years are going, but
no.
I think really just find the things that fill up your cup, that light you up, and surround yourself with good people who have good hearts and support you and encourage you. And I think those two things really make a good life and make every day worth living is doing what lights you up and being with your people.
Katie Izzo, thank you so much.
Thank you, Lindsay.
Okay, everybody, thanks for being here today. Thank you, Katie, for coming on the podcast. You can find Katie on Instagram. She is Katie Izzo over there. I am Lindsay Hine 626. You can learn more about this show and all the shows in our network at sandyboyproductions.com, as well as my personal website, lindsayhine.com. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you next time on I'll Have Another with Lindsay Hine podcast.